The movie begins by introducing a narcotics officer named Jackie. She is on the phone with one of her informants who sounds terrified and on edge, clearly sensing that something is wrong. Jackie tries to reassure her, promising that she will protect her at any cost. Once the call ends, Jackie steps out of her car. Without warning, a group of hired killers ambushes her. They attack with a clear intention of killing her, leaving her badly injured. Even while wounded, Jackie manages to return fire. In her final moments, she quickly sends a message from her phone, then tosses the device into the water to erase any trace. Seconds later, the hitmen reach her and brutally murder her where she laid. The story then cuts to the next day. We are introduced to Matt, who leads Jackie's unit. He is visibly shaken and enraged as he argues with his superior, struggling to cope with Jackie's sudden death. His boss informs him that a special FBI task force has been brought in and is now questioning everyone connected to the unit. The FBI believes Jackie's murder may have been an inside job, suspecting that someone from her own team may have sold her out. Soon after, FBI agent Scott Atkins begins interrogating the officers. The team includes Numa, a female officer, Mike, a Chinese officer, and Salazar. Each of them speaks highly of Jackie, describing her as a good person and admitting that her death has hit them hard. Scott then turns his attention to Ben. Ben claims he has no idea why Jackie would have been targeted. However, Scott already knows that Ben and Jackie were romantically involved. Ben explains that he had been spending almost every night with her during the past week. Scott pushes him aggressively about the relationship, and the interrogation quickly escalates into a physical confrontation. Other officers rush in and break up the fight before it gets worse. Later, Matt's boss questions why Scott and Ben are constantly at each other's throats. Matt explains that the two men are brothers and that their long-standing rivalry is the reason their interactions always turn hostile. Not long after, Ben storms into the restroom, clearly overwhelmed by anger and grief. Matt follows him inside, and it becomes clear that Ben harbors deep resentment toward his brother. Both men are still reeling from Jackie's death and are determined to find whoever was responsible. Meanwhile, the FBI remains convinced that someone within the unit betrayed her. Matt tells Ben that even their own boss seems to be in the dark about what really happened. Shortly afterward, Ben rejoins the rest of the team, joking and making casual conversation as a way to hide what he is feeling inside. At the same time, Matt is shown holding Jackie's final message. In it, she had warned him about a house rumored to be packed with cash. Around this point, DEA officer Kyle arrives with his team. Kyle's unit specializes in dismantling major criminal organizations, and they have a strong working relationship with Ben's crew. Together, they have successfully taken down several large mafia operations in the past. Matt joins them and reveals that they've received a solid tip about a house that needs to be hit. With that information, both teams move forward with operation. Before entering the property, Matt deliberately gives each officer a different estimate of how much money they might find inside. He tells Mike to expect around $150,000. When Ben asks, Matt suggests the amount could be closer to $3 million. When Lolo asks, Matt downplays it even further, estimating roughly $75,000. The team then arrives at the house, where they encounter a woman named Sasha. She has a striking presence and is Mexican, which immediately raises suspicion, as properties like this are often tied to Mexican cartels. Matt informs her that they have a warrant, and the team proceeds inside. They deploy their canine unit, which quickly alerts them to something hidden on the upper floor. Matt questions Sasha about the money, but she insists she has no idea what he's talking about. Matt and Ben head upstairs, where they discover several large drums concealed out of sight. They confront Sasha again and demand the truth. She explains that she lived there with her grandmother and had only returned to arrange medical treatment. Her grandmother died 3 months earlier, and Sasha maintains that she knows nothing about any hidden cash. Matt remains unconvinced, believing that Sasha is withholding information. She continues to deny everything. Matt and Ben explain that nearly every house in the area is owned by the mafia, which is why they were confident they would find money there. From Sasha's perspective, Matt and Ben now look corrupt. She notices 2 unusual tattoos on Matt's hands and asks what they mean. Matt explains that they represent a question and an answer. When Matt and Ben open one of the drums, they are stunned. Each drum holds approximately $1.4 million in cash. There are 14 drums in total, meaning the stash could be worth nearly $20 million. Matt admits that this is the biggest seizure of his entire career. According to procedure, any money recovered during a raid must be counted on site. He orders everyone to hand over their phones. The team protests, but eventually they comply. Matt brings all the drums downstairs. He assigns Numa and Lolo to count the cash, while Mike is instructed to stay outside and stand guard. Ben points out that it's already late, and having this much money on hand makes the situation extremely dangerous. He suggests they leave immediately. Matt refuses, insisting that protocol must be followed, and the money has to be counted and documented before they move. He also makes it clear that their boss is not to be informed yet. Ben mentions that Jackie had told him she was expecting a major tip, and this could be exactly what she meant. Matt responds coldly that it doesn't matter. Securing the scene comes first. Suddenly, Mike warns them that police vehicles have arrived outside. Ben and Matt step out and are questioned by the officers about why they're there. They explain that they are conducting a raid, but the officers claim they were never notified. Matt quickly realizes something is off when they recognize the cops as low-ranking officers, including one who was currently suspended. Realizing the danger, they rush back inside. They know that if those officers learn about the cash, the situation will turn violent fast. They prepare for the worst.
Everyone is ordered to arm themselves and put on bulletproof vests. Sasha is tied up, furious and powerless. Outside, Mike secretly pulls out a second phone and messages his chief, telling him they've struck gold, but warning that everything is about to spin completely out of control. Matt resumes questioning Sasha, pressing her harder than before. This time, she finally breaks and explains that two men had come to the house earlier and left the money behind. They told her that if anyone showed up, she should allow them to take as much cash as they wanted because the money meant nothing to them. As she speaks, Sasha notices a photo displayed on Matt's phone and asks who the child is. Matt tells her it's his son. Matt and Ben then run a background check on Sasha, but they find no serious criminal record tied to her. Suddenly, a phone begins to ring. Ben answers it. The voice on the other end warns him to take whatever money he wants and leave immediately, telling him that his life isn't worth risking over $150,000. Ben immediately drags Matt into a separate room, furious. He points out that Matt originally claimed there would be $3 million, but when the call came in, the figure mentioned was only $150,000. At that moment, Ben realizes Matt has been hiding something. Matt refuses to explain himself, but Ben is now convinced that Matt is playing a far larger and more dangerous game. Meanwhile, Lolo and Numa continue counting the money. As they work, the temptation becomes impossible to ignore, realizing that taking even a small portion of the cash could completely change their lives. Outside, Ben calls Kyle and asks him to come provide backup. He also considers calling his brother. Kyle initially refuses, but Ben explains that Matt received a tip, which is the reason they targeted this house in the first place. He tells Kyle they've uncovered an insane amount of cash and that Matt still hasn't informed the chief. Kyle admits that he's desperate to solve Jackie's murder. Ever since his son died of cancer and his wife left him, his life has been unraveling. He finally agrees to come help. Inside the house, Sasha notices Matt speaking privately with the two female officers. She realizes he's forming a plan with them to steal all the cash. Outside, Ben meets with Mike, who tells him the entire area feels unsettlingly quiet, with no one around at all. Suddenly, the lights in the house across the street begin flickering on and off. Someone inside starts hurling insults at them using Morse code through the lights. Enraged, Ben moves toward the house to confront whoever is inside. At the same time, Mike heads back into the house to find Matt. Sasha overhears Matt talking. Matt calls the chief and reports that the raid only turned up $150,000 and that they're heading back. At that moment, Mike walks in. With Matt gone, Sasha warns Mike that his boss and the two female officers are planning to steal all the cash and that he needs to tell someone. Another phone rings inside the house, and this time, Numa answers. The voice on the other end threatens them, saying they have 10 minutes to leave or they'll all be killed. Outside, Mike contacts the chief again, urgently asking him to get there as fast as possible to secure the money. Mike goes back inside and speaks with Numa and Lolo, but they insist that everything is under control. Matt returns, and Numa informs him that armed men will arrive within 5 minutes. Almost instantly, gunfire erupts outside. The officers fire back, and during the exchange, Salazar is shot and injured. Matt and Mike chase after the attackers as they retreat. They open fire, but the gunmen manage to escape in their vehicle and vanish from the area. Ben emerges holding one of the captured men and explains that he's connected to the mafia, though he claims he never fired at them. The man puts them in contact with his Mexican cartel boss over the phone. The boss tells them that the money found in the house does not belong to his organization and that they don't care about it. He explains that since Jackie's death, law enforcement has been watching them closely, but his people were not responsible for killing her. According to him, the real killer is likely someone from within their own unit. He also makes it clear that he doesn't want to escalate the situation by attacking cops, which is why he didn't send anyone. Matt and Ben are left stunned by the revelation. They go back inside, and Matt tells the entire team that the money doesn't belong to the mafia, meaning no one is coming to reclaim it. Numa immediately suggests they keep it. She proposes reporting only the amount Matt already gave the chief and splitting the rest among themselves. This sends Ben into a rage. He accuses Matt of working with the gunman outside and orchestrating the entire operation to steal the money. Matt fires back, accusing Ben of being the traitor since he was outside talking to a mafia contact. Ben responds that even the cartel boss confirmed Jackie wasn't killed by them and that someone from their own team was responsible. He directly accuses Matt of murdering Jackie. Matt denies it, and the argument explodes into a violent fight. Mike steps in and forces them apart. Then Matt orders everyone to pack up the money and get ready to leave. Mike goes into the bathroom and realizes his phone may have fallen outside earlier. Meanwhile, Ben calls Kyle again and demands that he come immediately. Kyle agrees, then also explains that their vehicle tires have been slashed, so Kyle will need to bring a truck. Mike asks Sasha for her phone, but it turns out Matt has it. Mike notices candles placed around the house and starts a fire. Inside, Matt helps Numa and Salazar pack the money into bags. He gives them a number and tells them to report that figure to the other officers. Before long, the entire house is engulfed in flames. The three of them carry the bags outside just as Kyle arrives with his truck.
The money is loaded into the truck. Matt tells Numa and Salazar to take Sasha to the police station, then rides with Kyle in the truck while Mike stays behind with them. As they drive off, everyone keeps their weapons ready. Ben tries to call the chief again, but Mike tells him that Matt gave the chief the wrong number. Matt now starts to suspect that Mike is the real traitor. Sasha had overheard Matt talking to the chief, and Matt had pretended to make a fake call in front of her. He had also signaled the two women, suggesting a plan to steal the money, knowing Sasha would warn Mike, and Mike would then call in his allies. Mike insists that he's not a traitor and claims he has no accomplices. Matt then reveals his trap. He explains that he deliberately gave each team member a different estimate of the cash, and only Mike was told the amount of $150,000. That exact number was later used in the threat call to Ben. Ben argues that his phone was with Matt, so there was no way he could have made the call. Ben then pulls out Mike's second phone, which he had taken from him during their earlier scuffle. It becomes clear that Mike used that phone to contact the gunman and arrange the attack. Matt then claims that Jackie sent him a message the night before about the money in the house. He says he gave everyone different numbers to expose the real traitor, and the threat using his number proves it. When they ask who his boss is, Mike refuses to answer. They turn to Kyle and question why he came alone instead of bringing his team. Kyle says his unit had already gone home. Matt and Ben then accuse Kyle of being Mike's partner. Kyle starts laughing. To confirm it, they force Mike to call his chief. As the phone rings, Kyle's expression shifts, exposing the truth. At that exact moment, Kyle's phone begins to ring. Instantly, Matt and Ben understand the truth. Kyle and Mike were working together all along and had been setting them up from the very start. Gunfire breaks out almost immediately. In the chaos, Ben is wounded, and Kyle manages to overpower both Ben and Matt, beating them down and stripping them of their weapons. With control firmly in his hands, Kyle offers them a deal. They can split the money evenly and walk away together. Matt looks straight at Kyle and asks him outright if he was the one who killed Jackie. That question finally breaks Mike. He confesses the truth, revealing that Kyle was the one who murdered Jackie and that the two of them had been partners for a long time. They killed Jackie for the money. As the weight of this revelation sinks in, Ben's phone starts ringing. Ben puts the call on speaker, and Scott's voice comes through the line. Scott tells them his team is already in position. From the front, Scott's vehicles block the road, and he orders everyone to step out. Realizing the situation is slipping out of his control, Kyle makes a last attempt. He repeats his offer, suggesting they kill Mike, keep the drug money, and feed Scott whatever story they want. Ben responds coldly, telling Kyle that he hasn't hung up the phone and Scott is listening to everything. Panicking, Kyle opens fire again, grabs the bags of cash, and tries to escape. At the same time, Mike also snatches a bag full of money and runs toward the forest. What follows is a relentless chase. Ben manages to force Kyle's vehicle off the road, sending it crashing violently. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, Matt and Mike confront each other in a brutal fight. In the end, Matt gains the upper hand and defeats Mike. Back at the crash site, Kyle makes one final plea. He tells Ben to let him go and take whatever amount of money he wants. Ben opens the bag to show him the truth. There's no cash inside, only books. Without hesitation, Ben shoots Kyle dead, finally avenging Jackie's murder.
Elsewhere, Matt arrests Mike and takes him away, determined to make sure he answers for everything he's done. Not long after, we see Numa and Salazar together with Sasha riding alongside them. Their truck is loaded with all the money. They arrive and hand over the entire amount to the authorities. The officers count the cash, and Matt and his team report the exact same figure they originally claimed. Impressed by their integrity, the officers praise Matt and his unit. Then something significant happens. The officers give Sasha 20% of the recovered money. It's revealed that Sasha was actually Jackie's informant, the same woman Jackie was speaking to at the very beginning of the film. After her grandmother's death, this money will help her survive. Knowing this, the entire team feels relieved and genuinely happy. Numa and Salazar head home, finally able to breathe again. Ben meets with Scott and thanks him for his help. For the first time in a long while, the two brothers feel good working together again. Sasha approaches Matt and thanks him as well. Matt already knows that Sasha will tell the truth about Mike because she's a good person. He had realized long ago that Sasha was Jackie's informant. Sasha is heartbroken over Jackie's death and admits she had no idea she had been killed. Matt then explains the meaning of his tattoos. One represents a question, "Are you a good cop?" The other is the answer, "Yes." He reveals that his son asked him that question before he died, and Matt had promised him that he was a good cop. That promise is what the tattoos stand for. Sasha and Matt go their separate ways, and Matt advises her to stay out of trouble and live an honest life. As morning arrives, Matt and Ben sit together with drinks in their hands, quietly watching the sunrise. With that calm, reflective moment, the film then comes to an end.